Welcome back to the Less Doing Podcast. I'm your host, Ari Meisel. This is the podcast where we teach successful entrepreneurs who have opportunity that exceeds their infrastructure how to become more replaceable. We'll show you how to set up systems and processes that empower your team and allow you to optimize, automate, and outsource everything in your life and business so that you can grow. One of the problems with the work that I do and that we do in the Less Doing Leaders, which is our coaching program, and the Replaceable Founder, which is one of our courses, is that it delivers a massive amount of value. And we hear great feedback on things all the time. We're constantly looking at how we can improve it. But the problem is that it's very hard to quantify that value for some people, and it's very hard to quantify that value in a general sense. Everybody gets something different out of the program because at the end of the day, what we're really offering people is more time. The issue with that is that a lot of people don't place a proper amount of value on their time. They don't recognize the ROI on saving time. And they don't recognize how simply saving time without any other goal, any other purpose, will ultimately make you better in your business and better in your entire life. One of the reasons that I've been able to work in so many different industries and with so many different size companies is because I never have to worry about making somebody better at what they do. I just have to give them more time to do what they do really well, and the results will follow. But again, it's really hard when people are looking at our coaching programs or any of our programs and somebody asks me, which doesn't happen that often, but somebody asks me, what specific result can I expect to get in the next 30 days, 90 days, the 12 months, whatever it might be? And the honest answer I usually have to give people is you're going to have more time. And some people get that and value that, and some people don't. So today I want to share with you a testimonial from one of our great success stories, a company called Garage Kings. They recently shared this testimonial with us about all the progress they had made with the program, and they gave some really specific points that I thought would be worth sharing and to show you what it's like to work with us and the results that you might expect to achieve. So Garage Kings is a company that does primarily garage floors, epoxy garage floors. So anytime you've ever gone to someone's garage and you were really wowed by what the floor looked like, that's typically an epoxy garage floor. It could be really shiny, it could be not, but it's a nice, consistent, durable, stain-proof, leak-proof, scuff-proof, everything surface. And you can have all sorts of designs and things, and it's really cool. And then they expand that to go into commercial locations and all sorts of other places. But their big value proposition is making the garage an investment in your home. So Garage King started with one location in Toronto, or in the Toronto sort of area, and rapidly expanded to multiple locations. And now they are in several territories in Canada and I believe over 20 states in the United States. And they did this fairly quickly. So I want to share some excerpts from what Jamie Siemens, the founder of the company, shared with us. The first thing he said was that he knew it was the kind of thing that he had to stick with. So I pushed hard and I had to learn at a different level to keep up. As a result, we grew from $500,000 in revenue to $4.2 million in revenue in 12 months. Now, again, we never tell people like, hey, you're going to double your revenue. You're going to increase revenue by 10%, 10 times. It's not something that we specifically offer. However, I believe that it is a strategic byproduct of the work that we do and allowing people to focus on what they do best. If you can focus on what you do best, have the flexibility to work where, when, and how is most effective for you, you ultimately gain the freedom to leave if you so choose to. And if you can leave, and leaving doesn't necessarily mean actually leaving the business. It could literally mean leaving your desk, leaving a project, leaving a responsibility that you might have currently had that was taking your time and weighing you down. If you have the ability to leave, then you have the ability to contribute and have an impact. And that is what we want. Jamie said, I implemented the tools Ari suggested and learned to do communication right and saved about 3 hours every week that I was on the phone. I can never not answer a call. And so having these tools improved how we text, email, message, voice call, and just generally communicate. Now, in the Replaceable Founder, which is the basis for everything that we teach, communication is at the heart of where we start with everybody. No matter what the organization is, industry size, communication is typically the biggest problem in any organization, because if you can't communicate effectively, it's very difficult to get anything else done. Forget project management, forget processes, forget outsourcing and automating. If you cannot communicate with your own team in a way that they understand what you want and can re-deliver those results to you with the expectations that you had, there's nowhere to go beyond that. So you have to start with communication. Jamie said, Ari's tools have revolutionized the amount of time I get for myself. So here's another thing that's important as well. Most entrepreneurs try to constantly achieve this ridiculous idea of work-life balance. And I don't believe there is such a thing as work-life balance. As Alain de Botton says, who's a contemporary philosopher, anything worth pursuing will take you out of balance. And as entrepreneurs, we are constantly presented with things that we find worth pursuing in our businesses, in our lives, with our families. So if anything, it is a work-life integration. And you have to figure out a way to make that work. And the best way, again, to do that is to create more time, period. He says, I've come to understand that when there's no peak performance, it's okay for me to engage in other things. For example, when work is slow in the afternoons, that's when I do my phone calls or even go for a walk, and I don't have to feel guilty about it. Especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're wearing so many different hats, you feel this need to be busy, to be the symbol of hard work in your business. And people will follow and they will do what you do. And if you're working hard, they will work hard. If you stay in the office till 7 o'clock, they will stay in the office till 7 o'clock, because you are showing them that that is the kind of work that you expect. You want them to work hard, not smart, because that's what you are doing. He goes on to say, in truth, we're just victims of our level of communication, and Ari's coaching has taught me a lot about communication. Elevating our level of communication and understanding the whys behind it can increase your growth and align you with awesome people. Now, he goes on to talk about all sorts of tools that we showed him how to use in the business and methods for outsourcing. And I love tools and technology, and I love using outsourced providers all the time. But at the end of the day, if we cannot communicate the right way, we're not going to get anywhere else. And when we talk about communication, we're looking at how you make decisions effectively so that you can route things to the right parties or resources. We look at asynchronous communication, which is the opposite of a phone call, the opposite of an in-person meeting. Asynchronous communication is I communicate when I want, you receive it when you want, and you respond in kind. Email is an asynchronous communication tool. Voicemails are asynchronous communication tools. And if you think about that on a very basic level, if you're allowing people to communicate when and how and where they want and receive that information when and how and where they want, just by path of least resistance, you should get people at their best. And who wouldn't want everybody in the organization operating and communicating at their best? It's been a pleasure working with Garage Kings, among many other companies. And these are the kind of results that we hope to see, that we get to see, and that we expect to see when we work with people in our programs. So if you're interested in finding out more, the very first step that I would recommend for most people is to come to one of our in-person one-day intensives in New York City. I spend a full day going through our entire system with a relatively small group every month in New York. And if you want to find out more about how you can come to the next one, go to www.less.do/NYC. Hope to see you at the next one.